Space, the final frontier. This is a review show for Star Trek The Next Generation. Its continuing mission to explore interesting plot points, to seek out goofs and continuity errors, to boldly go where no other TNG review show has gone before. It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. It's the TNG review show.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Good evening, everyone. We're here again to put another episode of Star Trek The Next Generation into the vault. Into the vault this evening. Tavykins, you're in the intro. I put you in the intro. She's lost her StreamYard link. Oh no. Well, I'm sure Smiler's getting it out to you there. Good evening. Good evening to everyone in chat. And good evening to my co-host, Maz McBob. How are you doing this evening, Maz?
Hi, I'm doing fine. I'm just trying to post all the live links to the many Star Trek groups. So apologies if I look distracted. Just making sure people can join us quickly.
She's sorting out the admin. Yeah. Now, I will preface this live stream by saying that Virgin Media has been doing some work in our area and our internet has been intermittent all afternoon. It keeps dropping out. It keeps coming straight back again. So if we do drop out of the live stream, please stand by, and I'm sure we'll be up and running again within a minute. So it's more likely than normal tonight. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I live in a similar area, and I've also had Virgin problems today.
Yes. So good evening, Sean. Back in your academy days, we started every live intro with a song. Yep, we sure do. Good evening, Subspace. Sorry I missed your last Saturday's live stream. I was going to come on chat and say hello, but unfortunately I ended up being out. But I'm hoping I'm going to get on and watch you guys this Saturday. If you're live streaming again this Saturday, I'm hoping to join or join in live chat then.
Yeah, you'll have to let us know what you've got planned, Subspace, over the next few weeks in terms of, sort of content and reviews that we're doing.
Tammykins has changed her name in StreamYard. I love that. Here we go.
Lord for. Love it.
Yeah. When I told Maz and Bob, that's what I was going to put you in the title. She was like, "Oh, you can't say that."
Yes, you can.
I said, I didn't come up with it. It was self-named.
I did bring it up.
Yeah.
Hey, there's no shame to sex workers. It's real work. However, I'm not a sex worker. But
No, that is true. It's true. So good evening to you, Sean. Good evening to Subspace. Good evening to Stu Plum. Evening, sir. Hope you're well. Good evening. Who else is here? Sean.
Ruth
So
is
Ruth.
here.
Good evening, Ruth. How are you this evening? I hope you are well. And Hubby's on. Good evening to you, sir. And your magnificent beard. Good evening to you all. Tonight.
I like the way none of us actually try to pronounce his name. We
There's
just
no
call him,
chance.
like,
There's no.
Tabby Hubby.
I.
Is it Good John?
how do you-
Vivian.
Yeah, I'm not.
I still don't. I'm still none the wiser. No.
Okay.
No. Anyway, it's great to have you. Great to have you all on board this evening because we are reviewing the final mission. This is kind of Wesley's farewell episode. Goodbye, Wesley. Yes. Where is my... Sorry, before we start, how are you, Tavykins? How are you this evening?
I'm doing quite good. I got one of those fancy ring lights, so so you can see me today.
Yes, you're nice and
A
bright.
bit profesh.
Oh, soon you won't see a broom in the background, so that's cancelled out immediately. Hold on, let me fix that.
I'll just move my dirty plate, shall I? There we go.
You managed to eat.
I did the same as you. I sort of belted down a sandwich, so that was it. Yeah. I was still stuffing it in my face when I came on to like backstage with Monty Ban and had to apologise.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
dating
all right.
for data. Yes, I am. Oh, thank you, Smiler. You know me so well. I'd take both if I could get them to cooperate.
Okay. Yes. You might see my tiles keep falling off the wall today as well because of the heat. I think it's made them even worse, and then they're just dropping off at random intervals. So you might see my wall fall apart behind me during this live stream as well. Something else to look out for. Anyway, we are here to talk about the final mission. It's episode 9 of season 4, production number 40274-183. It first aired on the 19th of November 1990 and is the 82nd episode to be both produced and released. The teleplay is by Casey Arnold Ince. This is the only one she's written, the only episode she was responsible for writing, along with Jerry Taylor. And this is Jerry's second of 17 writing credits for TNG, the last one being Suddenly Human. Yes, it was directed by Corey Allen, which is this third of five episodes of TNG, the last one being Home Soil. Who wants to see the trailer? What are you doing, Tammy? What's she doing?
Don't know. Yes, play the trailer.
Play the trailer. Oh, first I need to share the screen, don't I? Because else nobody can see it.
Yeah, that would help.
That would help. That would help. Here you go. Trailer.
Yourself for impact. A gutsy test of survival on a desolate planet. Wesley! And a daring sacrifice.
Wesley!
Captain Picard?
I may not make it.
If he doesn't get water, he's never going to survive. I'm not going to let you die.
The courage to face death on the next exciting episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Star Trek. And it looks to be.
Oh,
no, we don't want to see it again. No, it looks like a cool episode, doesn't it? From the trailer, I think they did a pretty good job of making the episode look exciting.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Stop screen share and get on with the first picture. I've got some good pictures for this evening for this episode.
Are there any ones of Data?
Yeah, I've orchestrated it a bit for you here, Tavykins. I have to say, I've made it as data focused as I can, with it not being really a data episode in any way, shape, or form. So
All episodes are Data episodes, so that's wrong. So if that were a trivia question, you would not get those
failed.
points.
Yeah, I'm sharing the script because Smiler Rainbow wants the questions. Bear with me a minute. Fill for me here, Mazama Bob.
Oh, okay. So, this episode originally had a different name. Did you know that?
No,
It
I
was
did not.
previously titled Turnabout. I'm not exactly sure why, but that was apparently its original name. And yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, it was sort of, Wesley's kind of send off, and they wanted to do it right. There was a lot of flack around how Yar went out, so they thought they would tie it in a neat bow and leave the door open for him, which I think is a good way to approach it. This one was it directed by who? I can't remember what role Jerry Naylor.
Producer.
Jerry Taylor,
Jerry Taylor was
producer,
yes, Jerry Taylor was producer and co-teleplay writer. So
she was saying apparently this was because you had like the interpersonal story, and then you had like the two stories which you love, Monty Ban. One of them was really quite technical. One of them was really, really personal. It was quite a challenge getting the balance between the two things. But yeah, we like when we've got a subplot, don't we? An A plot and a B plot. We like that.
I do like a double plot. Subspace remembers adding that working title information to Memory Alpha. Wow.
Oh.
Very cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Very cool.
Subspace used to work for Memory Alpha. So basically, you are an encyclopedia of Trek.
We do. We have the actual encyclopedia in live chat. Yeah. Sean's got his work cut out for him in the quiz tonight. A little change to the quiz tonight. I like to keep it slightly different each week. I want everyone to select how many points they want at the beginning of each question before I've even asked it. So
How many points they want?
yeah, so say in chat how many points you want for the question, and we'll pick one at random. How's that sound?
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Just
Might be making my scoring job slightly harder, but that's fine. We can cope with it.
Is it doable? Do we have the?
No, it's highly doable.
Right, cool.
Just putting everybody's names down. Sean, Ruth.
Oh, Supreme Panko. Hi from Canada. Wow. It's another country
Supreme
we can take
Panko.
off.
Here.
Oh, is that your friend? I thought it had to be. Did you see the comment earlier, Monty Ban?
No.
It said, Tavikin's the lore whore. You looking fresh and hot, baby. Positronic dick for life, baby. Oh, dear.
She's also a writer.
Hilarious.
Brilliant.
Oh, maybe that's why I can't see it. I couldn't see that she wrote it. Does it keep naughty stuff out?
Do you know, I couldn't either. Monty Pan taught me a trick the other day. There's this little sort of symbol here, which has got like little sort of twiddly things back and forth. And if you hit that, you have to select live chat, all messages are visible. Otherwise, by default, it shows you top chat, which I think is really, really highly annoying. But yeah, you got to change that setting because I couldn't see it either to start with.
You just reminded me to change mine for the stream, so thank you for that. Yeah, there we go. It's changed. It's changed now.
Thank you, Sean.
Okay.
At least the light is.
Yes.
Tavi's looking for a fully functional evening.
She certainly is. She certainly is. Okay, so.
Oh, and Volodya's joining us from Ukraine as well.
Oh.
Hi, Volodya.
Hi, Vladia. Good evening to you, sir. I hope all is well where you are. So we're opening up with the teaser. And we open up with the captain's log. Oh, you want to see the picture? There you go. There it is. Captain's log with the Enterprise going past. Just to mention with this picture here, with the Enterprise going past in the Blu-ray version, the Enterprise appears a lot blurrier than it did in the standard version. For whatever reason. All right. So, in the captain's log, we learn that the captain is to arbitrate a mining dispute on Pentaurus 5 between hostile Selenite miners. But first he has some urgent business. What could possibly that be? There you go. Nice shot of the bridge. And look who we see in the right-hand corner there. Wesley rushes onto the bridge as he's running late because he has had to store some volatile compounds. Picard scorns him for his tardiness, and he says that will not go down well at the Academy. So Wesley is to report to the Academy in 2 weeks' time as a place has opened up. Yay! He finally gets to go to the Academy because they only seem to let in 3 people a year.
Yeah.
Which is odd because it seems like they lose a lot of personnel every now and then.
Yeah, with their thousands of ships or whatever. You think it'd be a whole like processing plant, but yeah.
More you guys.
So that brings us to question number 1. So how many points do you guys want for question number 1? Let us know in chat. Maybe the first person that puts a points in chat, I'll say, right, it's that one. So,
all right,
1 billion point. No,
1 million. I'm not listening to you, Tavana. Right, Ruth says 6,000. I'm going with Ruth's 6,000 points. Okay, so this is not a million, but it's still the most points we've ever given away for one question.
Could have gone big.
Yeah. Okay, so for 6,000 points, who is Wesley to report to at Starfleet Academy in 2 weeks' time? Is it Admiral Ensumeka, Admiral Strickler, Admiral Quinn, or Vice Admiral Nechayev? So is it Ensumeka, Strickler, Quinn, or Nechayev? A, B, C, or D?
What I wrote down didn't sound much like any of those, but it sounded most like that one.
Okay.
I put Sark. It doesn't even make any sense.
Sark. Wow.
I don't know. I don't know why I wrote that. I must have misheard, but there you go.
Okay. Well, okay. Picard tells him he will be accompanying him to Pentaurus 5 to help him with the minor dispute. Worf then picks up a distress signal from Gamelan 5. Another 5, or V. There you go. That's the signal he picks up. His chairman, Sonji, tells them that a spacecraft has entered orbit and is causing radiation levels across the planet to rise. Picard says, Riker, this is your problem. I'm off with Wesley in a shuttle to Pentaurus 5.
I'm sorry, when you see that face on her and she says Riker, oh, well, he didn't say that's her problem, but I'm looking at it be like, ooh, Riker. Because that looks like she's got a bad case of something on her face.
Yeah.
I always hate when they've got the things going over their mouth because I'm like, how do they eat stuff and how do they have a glass of wine? They must have everything for a straw.
She's clearly aquatic.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess.
They're just sucking water, and that thing is instead of like having those teeth that the whale have, those two things just like stop too big of, I guess, plastic and shit going into her mouth.
I guess so.
Because they have that problem.
That would make sense.
There is a species in Deep Space Nine that also has like tissue connecting their nose to their chin. There's an alien in Deep Space Nine, I remember, that looks similar to this. Doesn't look exactly like this. It's more like one bit going down the middle. I have a picture, actually.
Yeah.
Of data?
Sean says you can see the black block covering the furthest right console in that shot. I wasn't quite sure what he was meaning.
Well, when Geordie's not on the bridge, they cover over the far right console at the back, the engineering console, because they don't bring it online until it comes. Yeah, these guys. So this was her from this episode, and these guys from Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
They had the thing covering their mouths as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. What this see back right here, Maz. This is engineering 1, and it only really comes online when Geordie comes to the bridge.
Ah, right. Cool.
But sometimes they forget to switch it off, so they overlay a black blob over it. Sorry.
Stuplum says maybe the wine glasses have holes in them, so they sort of slot around the,
Oh yeah.
Never. I imagine that would go everywhere. Subspace says, how do we know she doesn't have a cloaca? So I think a cloaca is actually how you kind of pee and poop, right? It's where
that's
all
what
of it
birds
comes
have.
out.
That's on a chicken.
Yeah, you have.
That's the back ass of a
birds have
chicken.
cloaca. Yep, that's correct.
I hope that's not on her face.
Panko says Riker be tromboning everyone.
Oh dear.
Loving it. Mickey's online. Hi, Mickey.
Hi, Mickey.
Scroll up for the last question if you want to answer, because we haven't done the answers yet.
Yeah.
And
There's
everyone,
6,000
what
points.
are you drinking?
Oh, I have
She was thinking about the wine, slurping
Red
on
wine.
Casillero
wine.
Diablo Chardonnay today.
Oh,
I
you got
have
white wine.
Radler.
Radler.
Nice.
Nice.
Yes. So.
And Kaz is here. Amazing that Kaz is here, because this is a.
Smiler's got Doom Bar. There you go.
Oh, nice.
Girl, I don't know if you want to watch this one, because
Beer.
Picard is looking busted on this one.
That's what I was going to say, Kaz. You're glad that you've tuned in, because Picard is all over this episode, being quite a hard ass, I have to say.
Oh, we have.
I got some comments on how he's handling stuff. He's got some hardcore military comebacks. I'm like, I remember being taught to say that. So, definitely.
I'll point them out when we get there. So Picard and Wesley meet Captain Durgo, who'll be transporting them in his shuttle. Geordie checks his shuttle out and reckons it'll run, though he doesn't really look convinced. Picard greets Durgo, and Durgo grabs his shoulder, and Picard shakes his hand and shows him the whole handshaking thing. One note is this is supposed to be Shuttle Bay 1, because we see in a number of graphics they're leaving Shuttle Bay 1, which is the big-ass Shuttle Bay on the top of the saucer section. It's the first time we've ever supposedly been in Shuttle Bay 1, so nerds like me get excited about that sort of thing. They leave with Wesley taking ops, as Picard wants the time to study the miner's law. Once they leave the Enterprise, it heads off to deal with the radiation ship. A note that this shuttlecraft thing is mostly the same thing shuttlecraft as they had in the Most Toys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably get that as a discount. Be like, Fazo, whatever his weird name was, going to jail. The police station kind of auctions off the cars of
Oh, there's yeah. What we get? Yeah, he bought it on the cheap, and then he put this this thing here on the right hand side. Doesn't it look like a fruit machine you'd find in a bar?
Yeah, it certainly does.
So they just slapped some L-car stickers on it.
Yeah.
Okay, they're insider rated. I had an issue with this scene because, first of all, military personnel, I'm thinking they're misrepresenting Starfleet. Dude comes on. He's obviously from a less well-to-do colony, and if they're inside the Federation, that's the Federation's fault. Why they looking so busted if we're sharing our resources? Anyhow, but they disrespect him, making him feel like he's lesser before they get in on this dude's shuttle. And I'm like, all right, that's how you're not diplomatic, by the way.
I know. He greets him as captain, and Wesley and Geordie in the background sniggering because they're like, captain.
Captain of a shuttle. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Starfleet is not military.
Yeah, I was going to say subspace chatter says Starfleet,
Well,
not military.
yeah, it's not
But
supposed to be.
Yeah.
It depends.
It's like when we say the war on terrorism is not a war; it's a conflict. It's
Yeah.
like that sort of thing.
It's certainly militaried up in Deep Space Nine's time. But in the shuttle, Durgal tells Wesley he hopes the captain's tougher than he looks, as the miners will tear him apart, but Wesley's confident in his captain. They then hit a problem. The port thruster blew, and they start spinning out of control towards the planet below. Uh-oh. There he is, spinning through space. And that was the end of the teaser. So, have you got any other things from the teaser that we missed, Maz?
There's a couple of little biddies and bobs. The guy who played Durgo later played Liam Bilby in Deep Space Nine. So he was like the leader of the Orion Syndicate, the one that O'Brien infiltrated the Orion Syndicate, and he befriended this sort of gangster guy called Bilby. Yeah, that's the same actor. Episode is Honor Among Thieves. And also apparently Nick Tate is familiar to sci-fi fans for having played Eagle transporter pilot Alan Carter in UK
Oh my
sci-fi
God,
series
1999. So he is.
There you go.
My
You
God,
might like that one.
I didn't know that one. That is, yeah. Now you say it, I can see it, but didn't really. All these years, never realised that. Anyway, well then. So going back to question 1 then. Who is Wesley going to report to in Starfleet in 2 weeks' time? Was it Admiral Ensameka, Strickler, Quinn, or Vice Admiral Nechayev? Well, hopefully you answered A, Admiral Ensameka.
We had A's, B's, and C's.
Well, congratulations, the A's. B, Admiral Strickler is in Voyager. Admiral Quinn we met in season 1, and he's the guy in Conspiracy with those little weird things that crawled into people's ears or whatever it was. Vice Admiral Nechayev we haven't seen in TNG yet, but she's a spicy admiral who gets on Picard's nerves later on. So yeah.
Yes, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people got it right, and 1, 2, 3, 4 people got it wrong. So yeah, you know who you are if you answered A.
6,000 points. So bear that in mind when you want to say how many points you want for question 2. The people that got the first one right might say 3.
Space wants to know if he gets extra points for getting the answer first. Unfortunately not, but we do sometimes do fastest fingers on buzzers questions, so you would in that case.
Yeah.
I answered first. Get off my point, subspace.
Okay, so Act 1, Picard comes from the back room. Yeah. To help, Picard's here to help. Durgal tries to hail for help, but comms are failed. Wes detects that one of the moons is barely N-class, so with a mean temperature of 55 degrees Celsius, so Durgal heads for that. They swap stations, so Durgal can work on the archaic engineering controls, and as Picard takes the helm, he pulls a piece of pipe from the ceiling, which probably doesn't help the situation. You can see, like, he's got it in his hand here, and there's, like, fiber optic strands now, like, hanging from the ceiling. Where it's just like...
Yeah, and the door kept flapping open, and, it was all just quite sort of almost like comically showing how the poor quality of the shuttle, basically. So, yeah.
If you go back...
I thought after going into that shuttle that you'd be like, you know what? We're going to take one of ours, and we're going to follow you.
Vicky spotted it. I didn't even spot it straight away. She was like, did this piece of set just fall apart in his hands? But then we rewound it and replayed it and realised that, yeah, it was supposed to happen. It's supposed to just show, like, the ship's falling apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Space thinks this ship reminds him of Red Dwarf.
Yeah,
it's like the Red Dwarf crew. Like, yeah.
It was a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're also disrespecting him again, because, like, one of the comments that Wesley brings up is like, yeah, something's like 100 years old. I'm be like, dude, I don't think we're gonna send you to academy if you can't hold your mouth like that. Come on.
Well, I think that's quite an accurate observation from Wes, though, isn't it? Because the guns that Durgo pulls out are from Search for Spock, so they are probably about 100 years old. So it's probably a factual observation more than anything. But I mean, the other thing, obviously, is that Durgo was a bit disrespectful of Picard, which is what's given Wesley the hump. So yeah.
We also the L cars on the screens here are reminiscent of the L cars used in Star Trek V and Star Trek VI. So with the phasers and that, it goes to show that this is all Federation technology from around
a long time ago,
from around the sort of film, the Kirk film era.
Around 2285, maybe.
2285, yeah, that sort of timing. Yeah. We all love Red Dwarf, yes. Well, maybe we'll need to do a Red Dwarf one of these one day. Yeah. So, they head into the atmosphere and they crash into the moon. Look at him, look. The absolute Chad.
He should have had some deja vu in this moment, It's like, is this Arrakis or?
Yeah. Where's the spice?
Yeah. It was looking pretty red in the background. I'm like, should have been spicy there.
They get out, find a hot desert world. It turns out that Durgo didn't carry any food or water, and he purely relied on the replicator that's now not functioning. They seem pretty much screwed.
This was, that sort of scenery was 2 days of location shooting on the El Mirage dry lake bed in the San Bernardino County in East LA.
Yeah. Do you want to see where Lake El Mirage is?
Yeah, why not? I quite like that underbelly shot. That's like an unusual shot.
It's a good one, isn't it? You know what I'm like about Google Maps. You know. I know
you love a bit of a Google map.
I love a bit of a spin around the world. If you go down to LA, where is it? There it is. And then if you look northeast of LA, you'll see this like big grey arrow pointing downwards. On the top of that arrow, there's this slither of desert. This is a dried lake bed, and this is the El Mirage lake bed. You might be asking, why am I interested in this place and how do I know? Well, interestingly, it's also where they shot the intro to Knight Rider. So if you imagine a black kit driving across this lake bed with a pink hue on the camera rather than a yellow-red hue on the camera, this is where they shot. You can see those cliffs in the those hills in the background. You see that group of hills. If you ever search Knight Rider intro.
But I was going to say, we got to get you got us feeling it. I'm feeling it.
You can see it. There it is in the background.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's them there.
And as Subspace points out, it was also where the desert shots of the Okompa homeworld were shot for the Caretaker.
The Caretaker, yes.
First episode of Voyager as well.
Yes.
Why would they go all the way the frick out there?
Well, it's right next to LA.
It's near LA.
Yeah.
It's a lot of driving.
Yeah. But anyway, I put this shot up because I thought it was a good shot.
Yeah.
Again, brand new CGI planet, not the same planet as in the original.
Figured as much.
Those moons was dusty and blurry as hell, though, in that previous scene, though. Those were some busted-ass moons.
Yeah. Yes. Anything in chat? I think we've covered everything. Okay, so, meanwhile, the Enterprise has arrived at the radiation ship. Scans show it looks like some sort of ancient civilization's garbage tanker. It's the redress of the Batriss. We've talked about it before. but we've seen this ship in Heart of Glory and Symbiosis and the Outrageous Okana. It's going to crop up loads more in different forms, but which we'll explore one day, the variations of the Batrash ship. But here it is again. Here she is in her glory. Right.
Monty?
Yes?
Is a data picture coming up? Because it's been a minute.
I knew you were going to ask that. I was thinking at this point, we haven't seen Data for a while.
Too long. Look at that schnoz. Oh my God, I love it.
It's funny how I just knew you were going to ask that question.
You know me. That's why I'm here.
So they contact the planet again and let them know what the ship is. The radiation levels are rising. So Riker says, like, don't worry, we're dealing with it. The senior staff discuss the options on the bridge, which is interesting because if it was Picard, he would have taken him to the observation lounge to do their talking. But no, the command crew just discuss it all out in the open on the bridge. Geordi wants to remotely attach thrusters to it to minimize crew exposure. And just then, Worf reports that they got hail from the mining colony to say that Picard and Wesley have not arrived. They are presumed missing. Riker, though, knows he has to deal with the radiation problem first, so tasks Geordi with carrying out his plan. But, question number 2. So, put your, how many points, guys, do you want in chat? How many points do you want for question 2?
0.00047 of a point. Subspace chatter says 600.
I like the 47 reference though. That's good.
Yes.
I love it.
The schnoz. Love the schnoz.
Bless. Subspace is saying that as a musician, when they said Gamelan 5, I was like, they're speaking my language. I'm not sure I get how that's a musical reference. You'll have to explain Subspace. I feel like I'm being dumb because I'm a musician.
Yeah. Subspace wants 11001001.
Yes.
He's trying to get you to your million that you wanted.
Yeah.
No, thank you, Subspace.
Well, I am going to go with your first choice there, Subspace. We're going to go with 600 points for this one. So 600 points.
Oh, boo.
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 I think this is a lot easier question, so I think the lesser points is good, to be honest. Picard has been asked to mediate a dispute between what type of miners? Are they carbomite miners, uridium miners, selenite miners, or chemosite miners? Carbomite, uridium, selenite, or chemosite? A, B, C, or D? Put it in chat.
Do you know, I have not got the slightest idea. I didn't write that down. I wrote down miners.
Ah.
I tell you, whatever's your go-to for guessing.
Yeah, well, I have gone for C for another reason. But yeah, that was an educated guess rather than something that I might know.
Wow, we got 13 people in chat. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, don't forget to hit the likes.
Oh, hit those likes.
Hit the likes.
Hit those likes.
Because this is fun.
Yeah.
You know you like it.
Tickle that like button.
Ooh, Mumsy.
We got lots of C's. See, I had a feeling.
Smiler.
I had a feeling. Okay, so Picard decides to head to the mountains in the distance, as mountains mean shelter. But Durgo disagrees, and he says he's the captain here. Wesley jumps to Picard's defense, though, saying he needs to listen to Picard because he's the one that's going to keep them alive. Picard, though, shushes him and asks Durgo what he thinks his best idea is, but Durgo doesn't have any better ideas, so they decide they are going to go off and head off to the mountains.
I don't know if you guys saw that dialogue. The dialogue was smooth, though, how he brushed that over. Because Wesley was antagonizing him. He goes on. He's like, he compliments the man.
Yeah.
And then he's like, if you have any input, I want to have it. So I'm like, he puts the guy on a pedestal so he can freaking calm the hell down. You know, that energy coming from Wesley, get people's hackles up.
Yeah,
Fight
yeah,
in the desert.
yeah. He makes it Durgo's idea. So then, you think that's the best? Okay, then we'll do that. Very smooth, very diplomatic.
Well, he is the consummate diplomat, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's brilliant at it.
Very good. But Wesley was really annoying in that scene, though.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh gosh, obnoxious teen alert.
It's like, you want to send this guy to the academy?
Yeah. Well, maybe he needs it.
Oh, Jesus.
So before they head off, Picard lays out an arrow on the floor, which marks the direction they travel.
Very useful in a sandstorm, by the way.
Yeah. They walk through the desert as the heat beats down on them. Durgo falls over. Wes helps him up, scoffing at him that he was worried that Picard wasn't tough enough. And Durgo grumbles, and as Wesley walks away, Durgo gets out a flask he's been hiding and drinks from it. The little rascal. Has he been hiding water? Wes then picks up the repeating energy pattern coming from the mountain ahead. It doesn't look natural. It doesn't look naturally made, so it obviously might have been made by civilization. But they have to press on anyway. They can't go back to the ship. And that's the end of Act 1.
I'm surprised they didn't bring anything else from the shuttle. It's like nothing else.
Well, you think he pretty much lived in the shuttle, so didn't they have any other? I mean, they could have used his spare clothes as made a tarpaulin or something, or I don't know.
Like, put some tarp up so you're not walking in the heat. Some shade. Settle down in the shade of the ship, and then when it gets dark, then start traipsing across the desert, because it's easier to walk across the desert at night than it is during the day. Unless this is one of those planets that goes into
freezes.
Like -55 at night. You're like, you have 17 seconds to get somewhere.
Yeah, or has weird alien creatures that come out of caves at night and bite your heads off.
Remember that Vin Diesel one?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. You don't want to be on one of those planets.
Nope. You know what they should have been worried about? Them sandworms.
Mayo, maybe that's why Picard's like, we've got to get to the mountains. We can't stay on this sand. He's worms will get us.
He's feeling his other life in another universe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Apparently they were originally going to do an ice planet, and then they sort of thought about the visuals and how they would achieve that, and then they thought, oh, it's going to look crap. So they decided to do a desert planet as well instead, because they thought they could make that look more realistic.
Well, it's a case of, do we ship everyone and the shuttle set to Greenland, or do we do it in our desert?
It
next
wouldn't,
to
though.
the
It'd be
studio?
a naff sort of sound studio, planet hell, but scattered with white fake snow. But yeah, I can see how they
That
decided not to do
styrofoam
that.
filler from the packages.
Exactly. I love when they have fake snow and it like all goes in an actor's mouth and they're like, which obviously wouldn't happen with real snow.
Yeah.
Subspace wonders if the garbage scow kind of reference was relating to Trouble with Tribbles. There are a few, like maybe half a dozen garbage scow references over the years, but yes, they do talk about garbage scow, don't they, when they have that argument in...
That's what the guy calls the Enterprise.
Yeah. And
To
then he
Scotty's
says
face.
It shouldn't be hauling garbage. It should be hauled away as garbage.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
funny.
Kirk questions them later, and he's like, and Scotty's like, I just couldn't let them get away with it. Well, what did they do? Did they insult like your mum? Did they insult me, the captain? It's like, no. They said the Enterprise was garbage. It's like, that's what set you off.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's very good.
Funny.
It's fighting words.
Yeah. Right, the question then. Did I do the question? I haven't done the answer to the question yet, have I? No. Okay. Picard.
All 10 people answered C. So I'm feeling like my guess is pretty good guess.
Yeah. Well, you are right with the C. I can't deny it. I thought that was a bit of an easy one, to be honest.
Yeah, I totally didn't write it down. However, and I hope this isn't a question because it would be a bit of a repeat if it was a question anyway. I do remember that later on, they say that the phaser in that is covered with selenium fibers. So I thought maybe it's selenite if it's selenium fibers. So that's why I made
correct. Yes, that is the reason.
Everybody's right.
Yes.
So Tavi, Mazza, Subspace, Stuplum, Kaz and Mickey are all on 6,600 points. The other guys are on 600 points.
Could have been 1,600,000 though.
Yeah.
Could have been.
The others are all elements in Star Trek. Well, except for carbamite, maybe it's a fake element that Kirk made up in the carbamite maneuver.
Yeah.
Iridium, I can't remember where iridium came from. Chemosite, that's from Enterprise. The alien race in Enterprise, the big bad guys. They rely on chemosite to power all their weapons and things.
I've got visions of like Quark and Nog going on about chemosite at some point. I'm sure it features with the Ferengi at some point in Deep Space Nine.
It might very well do.
And Selena is a word for moon, Sean says, but not sure what language.
Ah.
Oh.
I like it.
Smiler saying, don't eat yellow snow. And Tavi's hubby says, always eat the yellow snow. It might be beer.
Kirk also made up the card game Fizbin. Quark asked Odo to play in Deep Space Nine. I didn't know that, Sean, either. I'm going to have to look that up. Remind me, Smiler Rainbow, look up Fizbin. Okay, so Act 2, onwards and upwards. They arrive at some caves. That have
Which apparently was formed naturally from, what was it, from volcanoes?
Well,
volcanoes make doors and stairs, right?
They didn't know whether... They said they couldn't tell whether it was made from water or lava, these natural caves. But to me...
I'm sorry. That was that point where I do think it would have been welcome for disrespect. Be like, you're a minor. You should know. Be like...
Yeah.
Shit, shitty captain, shitty minor.
Yeah.
I understand what this dispute might be about.
I think at that point he might have guessed that he just dropped himself in it because he then drops his flask down the stairs out of shock. And Wes goes running after it. Where is it?
Water.
Yeah, there it is.
Water.
Yeah, he runs after it and accuses Dargo of hiding water, but Dargo's like, I wouldn't do that. It's not water. But question number 3. Question number 3. How many points do you want for question number 3? What do you reckon?
Ooh.
How many points do you want? Come on, chat. Let us know how many points. 6,600. We've had 6,000. We've had 600.
Just keeping to a theme.
Yeah,
gotta go up, totally.
Ruth,
we're going with pi.
What? So how many decimal places?
3.141592.
Yeah.
I'm not in charge though, but
We've got
I tell you what.
Lots of suggestions. Up to you what you go with.
I am gonna go with
Sean's. Sorry.
Subspace is gone for species 8472.
8472. Yeah. 74205. I will go with Mazza Bob this time. 6,600. Keep into the theme.
It's a chance to double your points or catch up or overtake. Apparently Kaz just said 6,600 to Mickey. They must be chatting on Fortnite probably.
She put it in the wrong chat. Yes. So the question is, So it's not water in this bottle we see on our screen here. But what is in the bottle? Is it A,
I know.
Areski, B, Bereski, C, Kareski, or D, Dureski? Is it Areski, Bereski, Kareski, or Dureski? A, B,
I'm
C,
not
or
going
D?
to answer it initially just because I announced that I absolutely know it. So I'll better wait for a sec.
You can wait.
Okay, I can wait.
And when we're talking about this drink, all right, Wesley, his ass was supposed to be using that tricorder this whole damn time to find water. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure tricorder can find water in a glass bottle hidden in somebody's jacket.
Yep,
So it's like,
exactly. And he was pointing the tricorder at whatever his name is at certain points. So yeah, if it's capable of scanning for water, I mean, I guess it would pick up the water in a human though. So maybe if he had it close to his body, that would mask it. But yeah, it did seem a bit odd.
Yeah, I guess we got a lot more water in us than would have been in that little bottle.
We're ugly bags of water, according to certain crystals, silicone crystals.
The ugly bags of mostly water. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the funniest, lamest insult. I'm like,
Yeah, ugly bags of mostly water. Okay, so Picard points out that it could be used as disinfectant or coolant, so orders Wes to store it with the supplies. They continue further into the caves.
There were obviously tire tracks and things out on the desert as well.
That's because everybody goes herring around El Mirage.
Exactly, I know. Bless them. You think they'd be able to smudge it out in effects a little bit, but you could quite clearly see them.
yeah, nobody got time for that.
It's from Knight Rider. All those.
It's all the Knight Rider shots. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's from a civilization long past.
Yes, right. Yeah, they've been there
Those
for
miners,
millennia.
little moon buggies that they zip around in the moon buggies. The miners. Yeah.
Picard had in Nemesis.
Yeah.
So back on the Enterprise, Beverly's briefing her medical team to go help the 3 smallest island groups that are worst affected. Troy enters and tells her the search vessels are still over a week away, but the miners might help, so there's that. Beverly assures her that she is all right, she's fine, and she's able to get on and do her work, because she's a pro.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit like dumbish. Be like, chick is trying to work. Don't be coming here with no personal shit while she's trying to keep a straight face. And thank you. Oh, yes.
She's just doing her job, isn't she? You know, she's just going to go around and antagonize people by reminding them of the bad things that have happened in their life whilst they're trying to get on with their job. And they're like, get out of my face. But it's my job.
It's like I'm trying to work here, keep it together, and you come in and tell me about the one thing I don't need to hear.
Oh, by the way, you might be kind of heading up the relief effort, but there's no help for your son. Oh.
And the man you want to get with.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, when I was thinking that watching that, she's like, oh man, she's telling her basically that Picard's not coming back. I forgot. I was like, oh shit, his son's on there.
Exactly the same.
I'm like that. He just now Montalban is like, oh yeah, she does have a kid. she would be.
Oh yeah, Wesley. Oh yeah.
That's messed up. You're like, oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Thank you for that photo, Montalban. Jesus, I felt
Yeah,
like it
well,
was a
you know,
drought.
I picked one from this scene that was data heavy. So on the bridge, Worf confirms that the miners have started searching, but they're limited on shuttlecraft. They start Geordie's plan to move the garbage truck with thrusters, but one flies off and Data reports that it has compromised the ship's structural integrity. Riker, in crisis management mode, orders the Enterprise to get ahead of it, lock on its tractor beam, and start towing it away. There you go. There's
Riker always has his leg up. He does. Yeah.
Oh, did we have a? I didn't
Riker
point
maneuver.
out classic Riker maneuver there. How remiss of me. Yeah, we got a couple of Riker maneuvers in this episode.
You haven't been on some of our earlier shows, Ruth, but we believe it's because Jonathan Frakes suffers from a back issue. So he often sort of sits in an odd position or stands in an odd position to alleviate his back as best he can.
Yeah.
At no point did someone say, dude, I got a chiropractor here that can fix that shit. You can't be standing like that all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, let me help you out.
It's the same way.
We like the Riker maneuver.
It's the way he dismounts chairs. Mounts
chairs.
Mounts chairs. Yeah. Yeah. So as they go and tow it away, it's the radiation levels rise on the Enterprise. Between them and the local star is an asteroid belt, where Riker's like, we'll take this lump of junk through it ourselves, and calls Beverly to the bridge. He orders Worf to inform the miners that they won't be joining the search for a while.
They couldn't send one shuttle just in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, they're warp-capable shuttles. They couldn't spare one, no. Or I don't think they got runabouts at this stage, but they couldn't send anything.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, some people have said, like, why didn't they do a saucer SEP and then half of the Enterprise do one thing and half do the other? But I think the saucer section doesn't have warp drive or a tractor beam, so it wouldn't have actually really been able to do anything.
No.
Yeah.
They would have just stayed there and died of radiation poisoning.
That's terrible. And we find that funny.
They put all the annoying people in the saucer section and say, you stay here and deal with this. Like, Barclay.
Yes, Barclay.
You heard up this.
This is your one chance. Put on that command red suit. It's the last chance you're going to get it. They could have just, like, gotten right up to the shuttle and just nudged it with their nose through space.
Well, they think once you've got it towing for a bit and it's got momentum.
Yeah.
Put that deflector on it and just
leave
push
it.
with the deflector.
They didn't have to take it all the way to the sun. They could have just taken it away from the planet, parked it somewhere, gone save Picard, and then come back and dealt with it later.
Yeah.
I know. It's like we're in Starfleet.
They didn't think of that, did they? They didn't think.
And the other thing I really liked was, despite the fact that some people have said, there isn't like a fatal, you get to this point and it's like a fatal dose of radiation. But what I really like is that they're counting down to this fatal dose, right? So this is like, you're going to die no matter what. But you would think that if you're getting towards that, it might be that it's not fatal, but it's certainly going to be life-changing repercussions, right?
Yeah.
But it's like either you're going to be 100% fine or it's fatal. But yeah, they pretty much left it so late. I think they're all going to have really terrible cancers for the rest of their life and stuff.
Yeah. It's like
they can fix that.
Yeah.
That's true. They probably can.
It's
the Expanse.
Is at what stage do you end up a Christopher Pike?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's still got to be, there's got to be some range of damage that they're doing.
Picard gets back and half the Enterprise crew are in little black.
And they got that
melted houses.
or that
little light bulbs blinking at him. Oh no! What happened?
3 hump.
Riker, I gave you the shit for 2 minutes.
You'd be like, dude, you got to use yes or no questions so he can blink once or twice. Take everybody to Talos 3.
Damn it. Okay, so
Sean said you can play a video of clips of Riker getting in and out of chairs, and Ruth says she's seen Jonathan Frakes talk about that montage. Subspace says this model was apparently from the TV series V. I don't know which model he means.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
The ship, this thing.
It
started off life as a shuttlecraft from V. That's how it started. And then they put loads of bits all over it and gradually layered it up with little bits to make it look bigger. Because it was a bit like a Enterprise shuttle, just like a shuttlecraft. Eventually they layered it up to make it look like a big thing.
Cool.
But yeah, it was a V shuttlecraft. So one day we'll go through the evolution of it. Because you all want that in your lives, I know. Yeah. Back in the cave, Picard leads them to an opening that contains the Fountain of Youth. A fountain of water. Durgo runs for the water, but gets knocked back by a force field. Yep, so automatically he decides to shoot it with his phaser.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes absolute sense.
Yeah, the force field doesn't really like that, though. Wes and Picard try to warn him that this is not a good idea, but a ghost-like spirit thing comes out, whips around, and zaps the phaser out of his hand and dislodges some rocks in the ceiling. Wes is about to get blatted by the rocks, but Picard knocks him out of the way and takes the hit himself. And that's the end of Act 2.
He could have like gone with Wesley instead of just standing there. He like pushes him out of the way and just like stands there while the
Yeah.
rocks just gone. I'm like, dude, keep going. There are rocks coming.
Yes. So Sean's,
Dive down.
They do that, don't they, with like people with a car, and they push them out of the car, out of the way of the car, but then they just turn
they're
and look
like-
at the car as it's coming. It's like, what? Who would
Yeah.
do that? You would just go with it, surely, yeah.
yeah.
Maybe only-
Sorry, Sean points out that the bits they add to props to make them look bigger is called greeblies.
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 That's a
That's
cute
right.
name.
Yeah, I know. It's what model makers do to make things look more complicated than they are. And usually, like, you use bits and bobs from like broken models, or you just add any old bits and bobs.
Packaging, electronics.
Yeah, they did the same to like Star Destroyers and things. They just like stick weird little buttons or car parts or stuff to it just to make it look complicated.
Textured.
Greeblies.
Very cool.
No, I've no idea why it's called Greeblies either. Yeah. Any other things from Act 2, Mesmer Bob?
Probably. There was a reference to the fact that the Enterprise was detoured to Gamelan 5, and that it was a nod to the Gamelons, an enemy and later friend of the Star Force in space battleship Yamato, 1974.
Oh,
So
Battleship
it's like a
Yamato.
throwback to earlier sci-fi, presumably.
It's manga and anime. Battleship
Right, okay.
Yamato. Yeah, it's a sort
That
of
would make
Japanese lore type thing.
Lower.
Lore.
Not that lower.
Lore. Yeah.
And just as a miscellaneous, Wesley says that the average temperature is 55 degrees, which would make the temperature 131 degrees Fahrenheit, but 55 degrees Celsius. I mean, I've experienced once in my life temperatures in the 50s, and it was horrendous. So yeah, I feel for what they must be going through.
It feels like that in this room at the moment.
Yeah, and yet it's probably only about 28 or something.
25.
Imagine 50 odd. I mean,
I know.
It's just crazy.
I keep saying temperature hits differently in this country. I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah.
I can be like in Tenerife and be like at 34 and on a beach and think, oh, this is all right. But here, if it's like 26, I'm dying. I can't move. Like, oh, God, no.
My guy, anything over 15 is torture. I play Dungeons and Dragons, or at least I did when we had a group, and he's like, he just has the nickname the Dwarven Arctic Giant. So.
Very cool.
Bless.
I used to play Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, so question number 3 then. What was it if it wasn't water? Was it Oreski, Boreski, Koreski, or Dreski? How many C's did we get, Kresky?
None.
Oh, that's good because it was D, Dresky.
We had 1A, 1B, and everybody else answered D.
Right. Well done, most of you for the Ds. And we're on with Act 3. We're getting there. Okay, picture.
They could have taken his shirt off, for that. Just thought that would have been best. Pretty sure. Is her name Cass? Cass would agree with me. It's the best first aid that you could have done right now. I mean, if we can't get Data, I'll take Picard.
Yeah.
Kaz, yeah, Karen.
Kaz.
Yeah.
Wes scans in with the tricorder, as we see here, and he finds he's got a broken right leg and left arm, and he took a blow to the head. But they're getting the bleeding under control, apparently. Durgo, though, says he's bleeding inside and he's a goner, which annoys Wes. And he's annoyed at Wes for wasting the Dresky on his wounds and that because he thinks that they need to keep it for themselves. Don't use it on the guy that might actually need it. Save it for when you might need it, possibly in the future. When Durgo wanders off, Picard warns Wesley to keep an eye on him, as his condition is only going to get worse. So it's up to Wesley to stand up to him.
Yeah. My money's on the other guy.
There's a shot of the Enterprise pulling the garbage scow. The Enterprise continues to pull the garbage scow away from the planet. Radiation is rising on board, and they are pumping hydronolin. Yes, I'm going with hydronolin through the ship's ventilation to counteract its effects. But question number 4. How many points then? Who are we going for question number 4? Let me know in chat. What do you reckon?
Subspace was saying that Michael and Denise Okuda were big fans of Battleship Yamato from what he recalls. The TNG art department apparently watched a lot of anime, and I can't remember specifically what it was called, but there was a few episodes back where they had like what was supposed to be alien writing, and they were actually embedded in that some Japanese characters of some names from like anime series, wasn't there?
I'm sure a ship or a gun or something was made out of Gundam parts as well.
Oh, Gundam Wing! That was a good one.
So we've got 66, 60,066. Helene, anyone?
79 as a reference to 7 of 9.
79. Oh, yeah. 79. Ooh. Is that it? 666.
Signing the devil.
How about 6,666?
6,666.
Well, finally, but are you patronizing me, Monty, at this point?
No.
All
right, then. I'm going to go with Smiler Rainbow this time because I haven't gone with Smiler Rainbow yet. With 1066, the Battle of Hastings. A big year for this country.
You choose your wife over the whore? What kind of man are you?
I've already chosen you, haven't I? I've already chosen one of your. I've chosen you already.
I don't think you have.
Didn't I? Didn't you say 6,000? I mean, oh no, you said 1 million, didn't you? I'll choose you next time. I will. Sorry, I've forgotten.
Don't bother. I just can't.
All right, 60,066. I can be swayed. Sorry, Smiler.
60,060. You're just trying to make my.
Sorry.
Actually, wait, I don't want to be a home wrecker. Okay.
No, it's all right. It's all right. We've got a good relationship. 60,066. And here is your 60,066 question. But, right, so they're pumping hydronolin through the system. But how long is it going to be before the radiation becomes lethal? Is it 28 minutes, 38 minutes, 48 minutes, or 18 minutes? A, 28, B, 38, C, 48, or D, 18 minutes?
What? I don't remember this hearing either.
Well, no, because then later on there's like 35 and then there's 50, or is it before then was 35? I know that they mentioned 70 watts per minute and 150 watts per minute. There were just so many times they took the readings.
It was the first time.
Yeah.
It was the first time they mentioned hydronolin, and then Data says, but we've only got so many minutes before it becomes fatal.
I'm going to go with the good old faithful when you don't know it, guess it.
Ditto.
And Sean said that the Ferengi pistol is made from Gundam parts. And Subspace said the species name Nausicum was an anime reference as well, apparently.
Oh, was it? I didn't know.
Apparently
Oh,
so.
like Nausicaa?
What was that? I was going to say, what was that reference then?
I don't know.
Ghibli Studios, Nausicaa of the Wind, I think. If that's what they're talking about.
G-Star's on. Hi, G-Star.
G-Star in the house for D18.
G-Star. What?
Okay, so whilst you're putting your answers in, Beverly has all the non-essential personnel and their families moved to a central location in the source section in Deck 5 and Deck 6. It's going to take at least 51 minutes to clear the asteroid belt, but Beverly points out that by that time there will be a lot of casualties. I didn't get Picard for this Data for this picture. Riker orders them to go past the safest limits and give them all she's got. They continue until they destabilize the tractor beam. Geordi tells them that the only way to give it more is to bring more fusion reactors online. I didn't even realize the Enterprise had fusion reactors. It's ironic that they're trying to get rid of radioactive material. So the only way to get rid of the radioactive material is to bring more fusion reactors online.
I thought it was weird that they just didn't fling it out of everyone's way and not just the sun and come back for it. Be like, just fling it in that direction there. Because there's a whole lot of nothingness. Yeah. All the nothingness over there. And then we come back.
Yeah. 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 So they're going to bring all the fusion reactors online, even though the coolant pressure is reaching its maximum. Riker says, do it. Do it. This is the... back in the cave, Wes is examining the phaser that got zapped out of Dergo's hand. He determines it's covered in selenium fibers. He also finds that the aim pattern is back down, and it rises whenever they get close to the fountain. He asks Dergo to move towards the fountain, and the EM pattern rises again. We're still getting answers coming in. It's good to see. Dergo thinks that they should use the phasers to lure the ghost thing out, and doesn't listen to Wes's protests. Dergo starts firing, and Wes sets his phaser up and fires also, but the ghost thing goes after Dergo, encasing him in selenium. So yes, Dergo is killed by the ghost thing. Sad times. And that's the end of Act 3. Mazza Bob, got anything else for us for Act 3?
This fountain was created on age 16. Rick Berman said there were issues with trying to do it, like the optics of it was a bit of a nightmare. They built it, didn't work. Then they tried to do it a different way. They just had loads of technical problems with it. So under cast and crew, I noted that Ensign Gates and Crewman Martinez are in this episode, but then I didn't actually spot them, to be fair. But they are apparently in it somewhere.
I didn't notice them. No.
You're too busy trying to see data in this thing. You didn't have time to spot it.
I didn't have time. I did notice that we're in Planet Hell here, Maz. We didn't mention that earlier, I don't think. But once again...
Oh, no, we didn't. Yeah.
We're in the stepped cave set of Planet Hell.
Yeah. I did put that somewhere in my notes.
Oh, yeah. Sean says that, there we go. It had to be stage 16, the set of Planet Hell. Yes.
Ah, yes. Okay, yeah.
I do think, though,
good point.
As time's gone on, Planet Hell's looking more realistic these days in terms of the patina on the rocks. Because they've so many like different types of rock effects and things, it's actually starting to look more natural than it has in the past. It looks less like plaster of Paris styrofoam now. Yeah. Okay, going back to question 4 then, for 60,066 points. G-Star must be like, who? What? 60,066 points? What?
Yeah, you could catch up quite quickly, G-Star.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, G-Star. Whose line is it anyway? No.
Who said it in the script? Yes. That's a good idea, actually, G-Star. I quite like that.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm a bit fussy. I'm a bit bitchy about this question because usually I know. Because I obsess about these episodes. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure the last thing I heard was 35. How was 38 an option? But I had to change it. I did change it. My final answer is A, so I hope you accept that because 35 was the last thing I heard.
Okay.
So if it wasn't 35, it's gonna be...
Is it going to be 28, 38, 48, or 18? I've got 38. So I
heard 35 in the episode.
I did double check it, but I could check it again.
I'm going to check it right now.
They started off and they said it was something or another, and it was at 70 millirads per minute. And then it said the radiation is at 150 millirads per minute, lethal exposure in 35 minutes. So I'm figuring the one
just
before
said
that had to
38.
be higher. No, there was one before, whereas it was at 70 millirads, which I'm presuming is the one that you're talking about. But I didn't write down what the time was. Then the next one was 150 millirads, 35 minutes.
I'm pulling up the episode. I'm
like, so I thought, well, it has to be higher than 35. It's got to be 38.
It's at 300 millirads. No, it's lethal exposure 1 minute.
You got to go back before then. All right. Anyway, so do we have many Bs?
We have 1, 2, 3, 4 Bs, and we have 5 Cs, 1 D, and 1 A.
Well, if you put B, congratulations.
And what was B? 38?
38, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I put 48 because I thought, well, it had to be way higher than 35 because that was the next one.
Yeah.
But that was just a total guess. Okay, so it will take me a while to calculate this because it's silly numbers.
I'm gonna have to fuss with you because I found the minute.
Oh, have you?
Okay, hold on. Let me find the question. Yeah, because I think you misread the script here. Hold on. How long will the Hyrillian last before radiation becomes lethal? It's B, goddammit. Shit.
Oh
dear. Never mind. Next time.
Ah, poor Savvykin.
There's still
checking.
There's still plenty of time. Here we go.
It's karma. It's karma I get for.
But look what I've given you.
Stepping up.
Look what I've given you instead.
Thank you. Oh, thank God. Could you crop that so the rest of the scene is not in there? We don't need to see all these other guys.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's wrong. Thank you.
Is that any better?
Yeah, and he's got the same face on,
he's concentrating. He's a concentrating android.
And what's messed up? It was him who said it too. Usually, I'm all up in his mouth.
Yeah, I know. It was Data that gave us that fact. Right, back at the Enterprise, they've now been using their fusion generators, so they've got full power. So they go full impulse, and this time the tractor beam holds. They only have 15 seconds before they get lethal amounts of radiation, and they still have to get through the asteroid belt. Oh no!
Did he say 15 seconds?
Yeah. Yeah, we're down to 15 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got the asteroid belt to get through. It's going to be really difficult.
Look at the sachet on Riker's behind. You see that little pose he's got there?
Yeah.
And once again, before you get to a lethal dose of radiation, there's supposed to be massive vomiting, dizziness, people passing out, hair falling out all over the place. These are all kinds of symptoms they should be experiencing with this amount of radiation. They're fine.
Experienced.
It's a
Starfleet officers, and they know how to keep.
They just hold the vomit in.
They do. They do. Yeah, you've probably got some.
They're non-military bearing.
If you got some delay, check you've got the live button clicked, and you can try lowering the detail level down to 420 or something. One thing I will say about this bit is the distance apart of the con and helm, ops and helm. We've seen them recently where they've almost been touching so close together as they chat to each other. But in this scene, in this episode, they're a good desk width or more apart. You could fit two people side by side walking past in the middle and still have room. Just love watching how they move these consoles around the bridge. Yeah.
You think they'd be stuck in place after a while?
You would think, wouldn't you? You would think. But
we've whittled our 5 or 6 first placers down to 2 people in first place now at the moment.
Oh, cool.
So at the moment, it's the 2 people in first place are Subspace and Mickey.
Oh, well done, Mickey.
Oh, yeah,
well done, Subspace. Well
toe
done, guys. So it's going to be really difficult to get through a whole asteroid belt in 15 seconds. Actually, it's going to be super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Barely an inconvenience.
Oh, really? Yeah, we're going to pass through the asteroid in about 1 second. Set the garbage ship on its way, and be done. They literally go, you've got 15 seconds, 10 seconds. They enter the asteroid belt, and then they leave the asteroid belt. It's like literally like that. Ding, done. Let it go. Yeah, in a matter of seconds.
I could have just flung that out into space.
Okay, so question 5. How many Smile a Rainbow, how many points for this question?
I'll keep my whore mouth shut.
So you can say that to you. If Monty Pan said that to you, it would be wrong.
It would be wrong.
You have permission now to say you keep your whore mouth shut.
You keep
Got
your
it between
whore mouth. No. I can't be doing it. Not even as a joke. I can't bring myself.
Oh dear.
Make it a good one.
For everyone.
Make it a good one. How many points?
I don't know if she realised. Oh, she's saying, "Oh, flip." I think you put her on the spot.
Oh, have I? Oh, flip. Anybody else? I haven't chosen your points thing yet. Let me know. Put your points in chat. How many points do you want? 30.
Supreme Panko, come on.
30's not going to do it, Smiler Rainbow. We're talking about points in the thousands here. 1701. I like that. That's a pretty good score. I'm not going to sure it's going to catch up with the 60,000 for people that got the last question right.
No, this is it. Subspace Nosy's like about 60,000 in the lead now. So
Yeah.
again, you can make it small numbers. Nobody's going to catch you, right?
Yeah, that's it. Being naughty there.
Tactical scoring going on, I think. What's Smiler doing? Oh, she does like 1701.
Yeah.
Okay.
G-Star's gone with 1 million. Which
1
is
million
what
points.
Tavikins
1
wanted from the beginning.
million.
Maybe we'll save the 1 million for the last question so that anybody could take it.
Okay, right. I'll go with 1701 then. So for 1,701 points.
Ooh, 6969.
Oh,
Because there's 2 androids.
sexy.
So how do you do that?
Sexy. Okay, question 5. The crew has been busy saving this planet, but what is the planet's name? It's been said so many times this episode. Is it A, Ceti Alpha 5? Is it B, Gamelan 5? Is it C, Tau Cygna 5? Or is it D, Rigel 5? Ceti Alpha 5, Gamelan 5, Tau Cygna 5, or Rigel 5, A, B, C, or D?
That's a funny sounding name.
Which one?
The
actual one.
Gamelan. Every time I hear it, I think of like someone saying Black Betty, Gamelan. Oh, Black Betty, Gamelan. That's what I hear every time I hear it. So they're going like family. I hear.
Yeah,
in my head all week.
I hear that. I hear that.
You cannot unhear it now.
No.
So missing it.
No. So they set the garbage scow off to be incinerated in the star, and the crew head off in search of Picard and Wesley.
I don't know if you guys like seen this like documentary, because one of the answers is, why can't we get rid of our trash problem by throwing our trash into volcanoes? And people who actually understand what volcanoes do when you throw stuff in it is that they have these extremely unstable eruptions. So they just sent how much radioactive material into the sun? Like it's just gonna dissolve it
into their star. Yeah. Also, although to a star, if this star is the same size as the sun, it's going to be literally nothing to it. It just would be like a teeny little. But actually, it's really difficult to get things to fall into a star. I don't know if you know this, but to actually get something, if we wanted to like send a probe into the sun, it's really difficult to get something, because everything that's like in orbit is going so fast that to decelerate enough and actually get trapped in the star's gravity well is a really difficult thing to do, because as you head towards the star, so you end up accelerating with the star's gravity, and that acceleration then ends up pushing you out and pushing you away, and you end up slingshotting yourself around the star and probably out the galaxy the other side.
Oh wow.
Or out the solar system, rather, the other side.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So actually getting something like that, something as big as that as well, to actually go into a star would actually be a very difficult thing to do.
Science.
I did miss the opportunity to put Babylon 5. I missed that one.
Babylon 5.
Babylon 5.
You'll get it correct on principle.
Yeah.
Sean's saying you have to merge like on a motorway. If you come in at a right angle, you just bounce off. So you'd have to come to the sun on some sort of angle.
It's kind of like that. That's why we don't send probes to Mercury very often. I mean, it's the heat, but also the amount of energy that the probe would have to expand in rocket fuel to decelerate and get down. It has to do like loads of like decelerating flybys between Earth and Venus and things to actually like decelerate instead of accelerating it out of the solar system. It's weird. You'd think it'd be easier, but it's actually harder. One of those weird things. So we're back in the cave here. Picard's cold, so Wesley sets his phaser to heat rock mode.
Heat rock setting, yeah.
And
setting 38.
Makes a little rock fire. Interestingly,
far away from him.
Interestingly, if you're interested in that kind of thing, which you know I am, there's precedents for this. If I can find it, I might not be able to find it now. Oh, there you go. In the TOS, the original series episode, The Enemy Within,
picture.
There's
Sulu,
who's trapped on a planet.
It's freezing.
When I think their shuttle crashes, a bit like this, and it's freezing, uses a phaser to heat rocks up to keep them alive. So, yeah, it's happened before.
I know that they're in a cave, but they are still on a planet that's like 55 degrees. You wouldn't think they'd need to heat up some rocks.
Yeah, remember what I was saying? When the sun goes down,
it gets really
goes
cold.
Down, aren't they on a moon, though?
They are.
Yeah, well, anyway, it's obviously rotating.
Yeah.
When the sun goes down, it's like freaking freezing.
Freezing. Okay, so he's made a little rock fire. Wesley tells him about Durgos getting himself killed, but for a bit, Picard becomes unresponsive. Wes gets him to wake back up again and tells him how much he was dreading the trip to Starbase 515 when he first accompanied Picard on an away trip. But he remembers it wasn't as bad as he thought it was going to be, and he was really pleased that they got to know each other during that trip. Picard apologizes for bringing him along on this trip and says it was his own selfishness because he wanted to spend some time with Wesley before he leaves for Starfleet Academy. And now, because of his selfishness, he's put his life in danger.
Actually was just taking a janky shuttle into space.
Yeah.
Do you not know what the vacuum of space will do to you?
Not good things. Not good things.
I'm like, if doors and shit are falling off of it, honestly, I'd be like, you know what? I know you checked it, Jordy, but I'm not feeling this.
It's a big pass.
We'll just follow in our shuttle, okay?
Yeah. We have a lot of shuttles. Why do they need this shuttle? The captain has a friggin' yacht parked on the bottom of the saucer section.
He could have taken that and
For
been
his
like, look, I'm
own-
going to take you for a ride.
You see? It's like he has his own like little mini starship attached to the saucer section. Why did he need this little thing? Anyway, Wesley tells him he has lived more on the Enterprise than most people have lived in their lifetimes. He has been lucky to serve with him. He tells him everything he's worked for, in school, his science projects, getting into the academy, is all because he wanted Picard to be proud of him. He tells him he won't let him die. He's going to figure out how to get him some water. And that was the end of Act 4. Mazin Bob, anything else with Act 4?
Probably not. Oh, didn't he? I don't know if you mentioned, but he talked about Boothby. I don't know if that's happened yet, but obviously Boothby becomes a character that's referenced multiple times.
Hasn't happened yet.
In the next bit, sorry. Then no, nothing to really add. I would say though that in that last round of scoring, Ruth and Tavi Hubby, who were both on 600 points previously, who got that last question right, they both shot into joint second place with that one question.
Well done.
So yeah, it was a big scoring round for those guys.
We haven't done the answer for question 5, have we?
No.
But everybody knows what the answer is.
Everybody knows what the answer is, but Kaz has not answered.
Kaz has missed out. She's too busy playing Fortnite. And so the crew have been busy saving the planet, but what's the name of the planet? Is it Celta Alpha 5, Gamelan 5, Tau Sigma 5, or Rigel 5? And everybody knows it is. Oh, Gamelan, Gamelan. Gamelan 5. Or was it Gameland 5?
Gamelan.
LAN games. You know, like we used to do before internet was around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well done for all those people that put B, which is probably everyone but Karen.
So we have Subspace and Mickey currently in the lead with 74,967 points. And then we have Ruth and Tavi Hubby in second place with 62,367 points.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Cool. And we're starting the final act, Act 5.
Aye.
I started Act 5, we get the Captain's log, and we get this shot of the Enterprise travelling on their way to find Picard and Wesley. I brought this one up because it's interesting. They couldn't find this shot of the Enterprise for this episode when converting it to Blu-ray. So this is a purely CGI replica. Oh. And I think it's weird because they just didn't get the blue right in the nacelles. They just don't look quite right.
They could have photoshopped that easily.
Well, yeah, you would have thought. You would have thought. It's noticeable if you look at the. So that was the original shot. You see the colour of the nacelles. The blue looks that colour.
Kind of like an electric blue.
Yeah,
and then this one's more of like a turquoise.
Turquoise blue. It's never turquoise blue. So.
I'm always wondering why they have such bungles up for like a multi-million-dollar like thing going on. I'm like, really? If you couldn't get it right, you could have easily just gone on like Facebook or anyone and be like, hey, we can't get this right. One of you nerds out there got this. People would be flooding them with all the freaking things. Be like, yeah, I did this at home. Fixed your problem. There you go.
Do you want to know, for me, what's the biggest, the absolute biggest bugbear with CBS and HDing their stuff is they've never done Deep Space Nine and have no plans to HDify, upscale Deep Space Nine, which I just think is
rude.
Rude, yeah, rude. It's like almost by their inaction, it's almost vandalism.
And they've done Voyager?
I believe so. Yeah, they've never done.
That's like not treating all your children the same. You can't do that.
I know.
They say there's no call for it. But Deep Space Nine is just. Can you imagine seeing like there are fans?
How is that even possible?
There are fans on YouTube that have like HDified or Blu-rayed up some of the fight scenes in Deep Space Nine.
I know, because they have some epic Dominion battle sequences, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Disappointing.
But no, CBS.
No data in it.
They did do a good job at remastering TNG. They did do a really good job of it. But do Deep Space Nine, for God's sake. Annoying.
Sean's saying they can't even get Klingons right in Discovery, which has £6 to £8 million in episode budget.
Oh, they haven't
Good
done
point.
Voyager either. Oh, I don't feel so bad now then.
Ah, right. Yeah, and Subspace was saying he thinks they did a pretty good job at remastering for TNG, but yeah, that's clearly the only one they've done then. It's disappointing.
They did a lot better than the studio that did Buffy the Vampire Slayer, because that was god awful.
Oh.
Okay.
Subspace was saying I think it's courteous that Durga let them use the Nenebek rather than the captain's yacht. And the Nenebek, so which shuttle bay was it you said that it went from earlier?
Shuttle Bay 1.
And that's the main shuttle bay, right?
The big one on the top of the saucer section, yeah.
Right.
Even though it didn't look anything like what Shuttle Bay 1's supposed to look like, it just looked like one of the other shuttle bays. It was supposed to be Shuttle Bay 1, and you saw the graphic of it leaving, and it left Shuttle Bay 1. The only other time...
It was supposed to be massive.
The only other time we see Shuttle Bay 1 is in Cause and Effect.
Cause and Effect.
When they open up Shuttle Bay 1 to move the Enterprise out of the way.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Apparently, where Picard finds the Dresky and says that it should be kept in the medicine box, might have been inspired by a real incident that happened in Shackleton's Antarctic expedition, as reported in a television reconstruction. So whether or not they took that inspiration from them there, I'm not sure, but apparently it was almost identical to what happened. Also, the shuttle Nenebek was named after Larry Nemeczek, apparently.
Yeah.
Jerry Taylor related to Nemeczek years later that she had one of his TNG concordances on her shelf and simply altered 2 of the letters in his last name. So yeah, it was a bit of an homage to, I guess.
A few things from Sean. There is some HD footage of DS9 that they made for the documentary What We Left Behind. Which is a fantastic documentary on Amazon Prime. If you get to see it, it brings a tear to my eye watching that documentary. I absolutely love it. I've seen it twice, but it's absolutely fantastic. They get all the writers together in a writing room and imagine what season 8 of Deep Space Nine would look like now if they could get all the cast together. And it's so good that I just want them to make it. You're just there with them in the writing room. You're just thinking, yes, make this. But,
do it.
Yeah, they can't.
You wonder why they don't like crowd. Well, I guess they can't. They can't like crowdfund it and say, "Do this, please."
No, CBS wouldn't
deal with actors. And
he also points out that if you look on YouTube for Stage 9, which is I have it on my computer here. It's like a VR model of the Enterprise. In fact, all the backgrounds we use on our stream here, so the background of 10 forward here is actually a Stage 9 CGI representation of they're all Stage 9 versions. But you can see it on YouTube, and you can have a tour of the Shuttle Bay 1 and what it was supposed to look like, and it was absolutely cavernous, with like an almost like an air traffic control like thing in the middle, and all these bays, and it was huge. So yes.
And Subspace says that there will be HD Voyager footage in the upcoming record-breaking Voyager documentary. So I'm guessing if you liked What We Left Behind, you'll probably like the Voyager documentary as well.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah.
And Subspace, otherwise known as Dan, the man that can, says that Larry Nemeczek is one of his best friends. See, Dan's very connected, is Dan. Dan has actual famous people that come onto his
it's very cool.
YouTube
very,
streams.
very, very cool.
Very cool. Starstruck Subspace.
I am starstruck. Okay. So the Enterprise is now off looking for the shuttle as well. Data finds some debris, but not enough to constitute a shuttle. And of course, we say Data found some debris, so there he is.
There's Data finding debris.
With yet another Riker maneuver. So it's not enough debris to make up a whole shuttle, so the miners have searched all the planets, but there are moons in the system, and they haven't searched the moons. So that leads to question number 6. So how many points do we want for question number 6?
Is this not the last question?
This is the last question.
1 million points.
That might make a mockery of the 1 million.
But it obviously, well, I mean, it would need to be enough that the two winners aren't dead certs, right?
Yeah. I did like this shot. It was nicely framed, I thought, with the layers of the crew, like going through the bridge.
Yeah.
Highly unnecessary. They could have just done a close-up of Data.
You just wanted this bit, didn't you? You just wanted this bit.
Look at that. And those like white luscious eyelashes, and if you could have got a shot of those sunflower yellow eyes. There we go. Thank you. And then you get Geordie's ass. Geordie has the best ass in the show. I don't know if you guys noticed. I love
Geordie's
Data's ass.
Geordie's one of those fine wine type guys, isn't it? I mean, I always thought he was a bit nerdy back then, but you look at him now and he's just gotten better with age, I swear.
Okay, well, I've got to go with the beard, haven't I? And 99,009. Oh, it's not. It's 999,000.
It's one off 1 million.
Oh, that was one more than I thought.
Well, you can go with 99,999 if you wish to.
Is that going to really make any difference, though, either? I don't know.
Not really, but it makes my math really difficult compared to 1 million.
Does it? Should we go with 999,999?
If you must.
I must. I've got to go with the Viking. Okay, so we're going with the Viking. 999,999. And the question is, but which moon did they crash on? What's the name of the desert moon they crashed on? Is it A, Pentaurus 5? Is it B, Pentaurus 3? Is it C, Lambda Prime? Or is it D, Lambda Pass?
Or E, Arrakis.
Arrakis, yes. Is it A, Pentaurus 5, B, Pentaurus 3, C, Lambda Prime, or D, Lambda Pass? A, B, C, or D? Yes. So they head to the moon that's closest to the debris that they found. I'm going to have to zoom out again because when we zoomed in. There we go. Back in the cave, Wesley's messing with his comm badge and Picard's singing a little song to himself. I think it's the same comm badge prop that Lore, in that episode where Noonien Sung messes about with Data's comm badge.
Pops it open.
He pops it open and messes about with the things inside. I think that's the same. They use the same prop in this episode. He tells
singing the Poco song.
Yeah, that's right.
Nice.
It's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Go cheer up, my lads. Cheer up, my lads. So he's planning to use his comm badge to slow the sentry down. Picard tells Wes he needs to find a guy called Boothby when he gets to the academy. He will help him. So he's like, what is he, history? Or, he's like, no, he's not a teacher. He's a groundkeeper. Stop it. Yep.
My husband will log off if he has to listen to that song.
Yeah.
What Poco song? How does it go, Sean? Well, let me tell you.
Oh dear. But Picard tells him that Boothby is one of the wisest men he's ever known and taught him a lot about life. The thing is, if he was the groundskeeper when Picard was in the academy, what's the chances? And he was a wise man.
El-Orient.
Maybe he is. Maybe Boothby's an El-Orient. I didn't think of that. Oh, yeah. Let's just make that a thing, because then you could use that.
Yeah.
I actually considered it, to be honest.
Yeah, making your own lore.
Yes. Ah, that song's stuck in my head now.
I know, it's terrible, isn't it?
Yes. You think Poco is what? As in corn dog? How does that even work? Oh, what a face.
He tells Wes he envies him as he's beginning. It's the beginning of his adventure. And he tells him to go get some water and to stay alive. On leaving, Picard tells Wesley he has always been proud of him. Looks like a bit of mosh.
So cheer up, my lad.
Cheer up. God, cheer up, Picard.
Boothby does make a good Species 8472 as well. He's really cool in that role.
In the cave, Wes fires at the force field and using a combination of his comm badge and a tricorder gains access to the water. He fills a case of water and takes it back to Picard. It's pretty cool. He gets on his...
It's been a long time since I've done like self-aid buddy care, but you're not supposed to be giving water to somebody who's bleeding in turn. It's really weird. I gotta look that up. I don't remember us supposed to be giving people water.
Well,
that kind of injury.
Maybe not. But I guess he was desperate. They've been there a whole day or something. So he comes back. Here he is feeding Picard some water with his fingers. The Enterprise arrives on the scene and finds them straight away. There's the crew, including Data. Mum and son reunited again. Wes asks how they found him. Beverly confirms that, well, they found the wreckage and then they followed the arrow.
As opposed to locating their freaking life signs and beaming them directly into sickbay.
Exactly.
What the freaking hell?
I don't know. No idea. Made me laugh. Before they cut Picard away in the stretcher, he asks for Wesley. He criticizes him for his dirty uniform. Wes tells him he doesn't look too shipshape himself. Himself? Damn it.
By the seashore.
But, yeah. Picard tells him that he will be missed. And they then carry Picard out whilst they're holding hands.
Aww.
And obviously, Wesley later reappears in episodes The Game, First Duty, Parallels, Journey's End, as well as Star Trek Nemesis.
Yeah, I didn't show a picture of them. Oh, no. Is that it? Is that it?
I know G-Star, but right hands. Here, I mean, it says, do not, in capital letters, they're actually shouting on this medical site for first aid. Do not give someone with internal bleeding water or any liquids.
He hasn't been to Starfleet Academy yet. He's still got to go. He doesn't know these things.
His mom is a freaking. You know what? It's futuristic science. They don't know how to do primitive. They don't know how to do primitive like life-saving stuff.
No.
So, I just think the son of a doctor might know some simple things. If they allow you on the bridge, you need to go to a first aid course. I mean, you know, it's not the military, so obviously not. Because they're like, if you die, it's because you've been jettisoned out into space, so don't bother.
Oh, yeah. Subspace just thought this would have been a good episode to write Picard's death and write him out, which G-Star took a bit of an affront to. Yeah. Have you got a hole himself? Yeah. And that was the end of the episode. Done. Dusted. They all lived happily ever after. Apart from Picard, who one day becomes an android.
So everybody's answered the question except Kaz again. And we have a full range. A's, B's. Oh no, A's, B's, and D's. We have no C's.
You have no C's. But I thought C was the answer to give.
Yeah, if you get a guess, gotta go see.
So, what moon did they crash on? Was it Pentaurus 5, Pentaurus 3, Lambda Prime, or Lambda Pass? It was Lambda Pass. Lambda Pass. Or Pass.
Was it? I thought it was Pentaurus 3. Oh, okay. Well.
Nope. Pentaurus 3 was the planet this moon is orbiting.
Oh.
What? So that's where they were heading to originally, but no, they crashed on its moon, Lambda Pass.
That's what happens when you're trying to get kids in the bed and shoving a baguette in your gullet.
So, good luck, Mazam Bob. And working away.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving me such difficult math.
Yes, they did. Well, there was options, wasn't there, to write Picard out after Best of Both Worlds. So they kept the door open for him. And thank goodness, because it wouldn't have been the same, would it?
No. Can you imagine somebody else?
Well, it would just been Riker.
Even if Riker stood up, we'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Go sit down. Just leave the chair empty.
Yeah.
No. Don't sit in the middle. Mm-mm.
Riker still at that point didn't have the gravitas for the big chair on the
Could have
Enterprise.
just had Data. They could have put Data up in that, you know.
No.
Yes.
No.
He was delicious when he was commanding the Sutherland. What?
Oh, yeah. All right. I'll give you that.
He's like, do it. I'd be like, yes, baby. Ooh, Lord. Whatever he said.
Subspace didn't hear any lambda anything. Oh, dear. I hope I've got that right. If Subspace didn't hear that, oh, no.
I heard it.
No, that's all right then.
I mean, wasn't it written in, Lambda Prime, Lambda Pass? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so going back then to the answer to question 5. What would with those answers in, Maz? Who won?
I'm getting there.
You're still working it out. Still filling. Okay, well, start to think about what you give this episode out of 10. What would you give it? I'm going to get my answer sorted on my little thingamajiggy here.
I don't have a paddle.
No. Your uniform's on order, Tamana. It's on its way. It's been sent, but it's coming from China, so it's going to take like a couple of weeks.
Oh, shit. Those guys.
So we have 1, 2.
And I presume I put your address in right, but I wasn't sure about Norway address and the way it's structured. Hopefully I've done it right.
Yeah, I'm always trying to put it in like weird ways when I'm...
So we have 5 people that got over the million mark today by getting the last question right. So pretty much, regardless of what else happened, anybody who didn't get the last question right obviously isn't going to win. And of those people, the 2 front runners were Subspace and Mickey. And Mickey got the last question right. Subspace did not. So that means that Mickey has won this week with 1,074,966 points.
Well done, Mickey. Another result for you, eh? Oh, never mind, Subspace. You just
that is sad time.
That last question just foxed you.
Just by the way, the whole giving us the option to come up with our own score was madness. I don't know what you were thinking or what you were drinking.
I don't know. We're not doing that next week.
It did not make my job easier. No. Hear that?
Well, I like to change something every week, so that was the change for this week. So yeah,
that's fine. I coped with it.
Oh,
Anybody
Lambda
wants
Paz,
to know how
was
much
it?
they got? I'll tell them. It was Lambda Paz, yeah.
No, with a Z. I might have typed out with an S.
Yeah.
Mickey's whoop whoop. Oh, that's the cutest little death.
I heard Paz, and so I typed it out wrong.
Yeah, and some of the planet names weren't always right. You just have to understand that it might be phonetic spelling.
Yeah, I didn't research. It's what I heard. Sorry about that.
Well done, Mickey.
But Mickey guessed right what I was getting at.
I got it as well.
Yeah. What's the episode
Oh,
called?
stop bragging. Jesus.
I know. Well, Mickey was all dominant in, was it season 1 or 2? So it's nice to see you getting some points again, Mickey.
Yeah. He's the old champion.
Yeah.
Are you filing your nails?
You like
Me?
Yeah.
You like
No, I'm making. I have to draw my own paddle.
Oh, you're drawing.
Very cool.
I have a pin here, but also have like sidewalk chalk for my children.
Oh.
Smiler did order our paddles for us, so maybe we'll have to order Tabby.
I have to get you a paddle. That'll be the next thing. We'll get a paddle out to you.
Oh, I definitely would like a paddle. Loho must have a paddle.
To Subspace complaint about the spelling, Sean says, it's okay, Star Trek fans are never pedantic about minor details.
Oh! No, it's true. That is true. You got to give
There
them
you
that.
go, Mickey. Let's put you on the scoreboard for this season.
Yep. He's joined Sean, Andrew, and Mazim Bob on 1. Tabbykins is still in the
Subspace not got one? Oh, so I suppose Subspace last week was your first week, so you'd have been on the scoreboard. It's a real shame.
Yeah, you would have.
I see many points in Subspace's future though. So
I do. Yeah.
No worries.
If he sticks with it, he'll be right at the top any minute. So, well, it won't be on top for another 5 episodes because Stuplum's got 5.
Stuplum's doing super well.
So, yeah. Yes. So, yeah, put your thoughts of the episode out of 10. Let us know in chat. I think we've already got some.
Yeah, we've only
in there.
got a couple so far from Sean, G Star, and Stuplum. So, any more, let us know shortly.
I've got mine. Have you got yours? Have you drawn yours out now?
I have.
Right. Are you ready?
Are we ready?
3, 2, 1. Pudding. 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's very lovely drawn. Well drawn there. That's 7.
Oh, I can barely see it.
It's a pretty good
she's
7.
She's an artist, don't you know?
She is. Yes, we got. Yep. So at the moment, Maz, just for your average, we've got a 6, an 8, 6, and a 6. So I gave it an 8. Maz and Bob give it a 6.
Tavikin's given it a 7.
Yep. So you have to put that with 7. So we've got an 8, 7, and 1, 2, 3 6s so far.
Yeah. Any more
light
for any
on.
more? I probably shouldn't need a calculator.
It's probably going to be a 7.
Anyway.
It's going to be 7, isn't it?
Yeah,
I would have thought.
so.
7, Mickey's
6,
put a 7 as well.
8, 7 divided by 6 equals. Woo! By 6 equals. Nope, that can't be right. Sorry. Poor skills. 6, 6, 6, 8, 7 equals divided by 6 equals.
2 7s.
So it's round up to 7.
There should be 2
I'm
7s.
just using a calculator on my phone.
Did you put 2 7s?
I put 2 7s, 3
All right.
6s, and 1 8, and it rounds to
You got 2 8s. G Star gave 8.
I only had G Stars 8. Who else has put an 8?
Monty.
No,
ours are there, yeah. And then we take an average of everybody else's. So it's 6.666.
We might have to add a. We're going to have to add a Tivana.
Yeah, Tavikins.
We're going to have to have 4 maybe. Add a Tavikins column. I'll do that. I'll do that for next week. I'll do that for next week.
At the moment, you're part of the audience average, I'm afraid.
That's why I'm not in uniform or anything like that. So
that's true. Yeah. Once you get your uniform, we'll let you have your own score.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean the scores have been this season really, really consistent. I mean they are all in.
Yeah,
the
G-Star
same.
saying everything scored the same.
It's just a product of season 4. It's a quality season, and they're all kind of like up there, you know. We haven't had any bad episodes so far. There are some coming, I think. There are going to be some duffers.
Yeah, like the next one.
Like the next one.
So, I mean, I guess actually to talk about that, the only other bits I've got left in my notes is about reception. So, Michael Piller thinks that this was, amazing. He thinks Jerry did a wonderful job. And Rick Berman said it's one of his favorite episodes. So, I definitely didn't rate it as one of my favorite, but, it was pretty well received. However, on IMDb, it scores a 6.8 out of 10, which is actually about the 5th lowest IMDb score for this season. It's only beat out in terms of lower scores on IMDb so it's 6.8. Identity Crisis are 6.7. Suddenly Human, that we reviewed a few weeks ago, is 6.5. The Host is 6.5. And The Loss, which is the lowest on IMDb for the season, which is the next episode.
Yes, that's coming up next. G reckons my scoring's boring. We're just boring scoring. Well, the thing is, for me, when G-Star was on the panel, I'd like to give some extreme scores that I know would like
just to wind
him up, like score episodes that I knew he wouldn't like really high, or give ones that I knew he really liked really low. But now he's not on the panel, I don't need to do that anymore, so it kind of averages itself out.
However, a bit like with G-Star on as co-host, if there were any data episodes, G-Star would automatically score it really, really high, and so will Tabbykin. So at least there's consistency there.
He has good taste.
We have got an episode. We have got an episode coming up called Data's Day. So hopefully.
I love
if
that
it's
episode.
not the next one, don't get me worked up.
To be fair, I don't love all data episodes, but I love that episode. Data
Okay, Maza, you
episode.
didn't even have to say that. You didn't have to say that. I liked you.
I'm so shiny. I feel like I'm melting in this heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all end up look like we're turning into like.
So of us, I gave it
Try
the
to-
highest score. I gave it an 8, and I gave it an 8 because I thought I liked. There were lots of good spacey things in it, like them towing the ship. There was quite a lot of good. I liked the A and B plot. I love the 2-layered stories. I'm always a bit of a sucker for that in Star Trek. And I like the fact that they actually did location shooting on a planet in a desert, which made it, I thought, seem quite cinematic. It wasn't just one of those tin can episodes just on the ship. A lot of effort went into this, and I felt it was fast paced. And I think, you said the director who directed like Encounter at Farpoint and things. Was that this episode? Or was that the last episode?
Yeah, I don't remember him mentioning Encounter at Farpoint.
Oh, well, I think this the director, they always have to, with this guy, have to shoot more footage because he ends up making scenes go a lot quicker than they have planned for the 45-minute runtime. So Gene Roddenberry had to direct a load of scenes in Encounter at Farpoint because what they shot didn't fill the whole running time, so they had to add a lot to it. Because this guy likes fast-paced action scenes. And I think that made this episode seem to go really quickly. A lot was going on, but they managed to fit all that into that 45 minutes.
It took me 2 days to watch this episode because it was just so data dry. I just couldn't. It took me 2 days just for that. I'm like, ugh. It was like dust.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think my commentary is very useful in that, it did have some good components, but it just, I don't know, there's something about the story that felt oddly forced, like the whole sort of garbage scow stuff it didn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, I get what you're saying about how it's not a bottle show and stuff, but there was still something about it that just, it just seemed a little bit unrealistic in terms of the concept, really. And, some of the interpersonal stuff was quite nice, but then, Wesley's just generally very annoying as well, which doesn't help. But I did like the on-location shooting. I would agree with that.
Me being a dad now, though, it does make me, when he's like, I just wanted you to be proud of me. And he's like, I am proud of you. I'm like, oh, he's proud of him.
Oh, you soppy
I'm a
sod.
soppy sob. G-Star pointing out that the location shooting was the first thing that made him think that see the TNG potential as a film franchise. So yeah, I can see that. Yeah. So, but
And it's Patrick Stewart's birthday today. He's 82.
Oh, happy birthday, Patrick
Happy
Stewart.
birthday.
Sir Patrick, happy birthday. 82. He's doing well, the old boy, isn't he? And he's still got season 3 of Picard to go.
We had to finish. We had to film it all.
Yeah,
Actually, no, he's not doing very well from what I hear.
Is he not? That's the
He's
last.
he has a heart condition.
That's why they rushed season 3 and got it in the
Yeah.
can.
And he's like, he's a
Sad
big
times.
supporter for, what? You need a nap? There is no data in this episode, so you can go ahead. You can go ahead and take a nap. Just
Yeah.
Sorry.
Night.
I can't. and Montalban didn't even put data up again, at least the screen save. Hey, you didn't see the trailer.
And I think Tavi must have typed something wrong earlier because she said, "How is Monty's face and skin so damn perfect?" I'm sure she must have been talking about Data, right?
Yes, for sure.
Well, data, we don't need that much.
Definitely.
Look at his skin. Like, we're all shiny. Like, I'm trying to change the light. No, you're not. You're like that.
Well, I've got two. I've got 2 ring lights, so it cuts down on the shadows and the. Anyway, trailer for The Lost next week. So we got The Lost coming up next week. Bye bye, Supreme Panko.
Majram.
Good
night.
Good night. This is the trailer for next week's episode.
Stripped of her betazoid powers,
I don't sense anything.
crippled by the devastating loss,
It's time I accept the truth, Captain, and resign as ship's counselor.
helpless during an urgent call to duty,
Oh, wait.
I'm absolutely lost. You have to do something.
There's brain damage.
I don't know what to do.
powerless in the face of destruction on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah, sorry, girls, you wouldn't have been able to hear that one.
No worries.
But that is the trailer for next week's episode. It's a Deanna Troi episode.
G-Star says he hates it. Well, like I say, on IMDb, it was the lowest scored episode of this season. So I wouldn't say I'm holding out a lot of hope. I mean, obviously, I know the episodes. I've watched TNG loads of times, but you kind of never know how you're going to receive something depending on your frame of mind. So
No. You never know. We might
never know.
Sometimes with those ones that I think I'm going to absolutely hate, I find positive things in them and think actually it wasn't as bad as I thought. So maybe it might be fine. I think
We will see.
I think next week though we'll do another open mic and post the link to the studio in chat. So if Supreme,
Even if it's not such a good episode, at least we'll have lots of people on to chat about it.
yeah, G-Star, Supreme Panto, if Andrew or Mickey or Sean. Or Subspace, if you want to come and join us next week
Ruth.
in the studio.
We know Stu Plum won't.
Stu Plum won't, no.
It does.
No, but yeah, and we can end up talking about, I don't know, Strange New Worlds or something more interesting if we decide we don't like the episode.
No night, Stu Plum. Majram.
Yes. Yeah, so that was
A
this
good plan.
episode. That was this episode.
I think we can have up to 10 people, can't we?
Up to 10 people, yes. We can have up to 10.
Do you know, I'm glad I came up with my new, scoring matrix thing. But even though I had room for 10 people, I've run out. I'm going to have to redo my little template and make it for more than 11 players at least.
Wow. Who'd ever thought? Who'd have thunked it?
Yeah.
Who'd have thunked
Impressive.
it? Yeah, so thank you to Supreme and G-Star and Subspace and Mickey and Sean and Karen, who's probably asleep now. Oh, did you see? I'm not going to play it now.
Oh, yeah. Karen fell asleep on live playing Fortnite, didn't she?
She did. She completely fell asleep.
I did think she suddenly stopped answering questions tonight, and I just thought, oh, she's gone to sleep again.
Does anybody want to see that?
Sean says Strange New Worlds episode 10 is amazing. Actually, Subspace Chatter did a review show of that on Saturday of the last episode, Sean. I'll have to send you a link to it or something so you can see their take on it.
Was the last episode, was that the Gorn one or was that the Romulan one?
The last one was the one with the episode 10 was the one with the time thingy, the 7-year time thingy.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah, it's good.
Better not too many spoilers in case other people haven't watched it.
No,
it was the timey-wimey one.
It was great. If you haven't seen it yet,
Crystal.
if you haven't seen it yet, then go to the original series and watch The Balance of Terror first. Go watch that, and then watch episode 10 of Strange New Worlds. I just think it's, it was really good.
I actually think I've gone on strike now since there's no like good Android scenes.
Hey, it's going to be
Strange New Worlds. There's no data at all, right?
There is no data. No.
That's the only thing I'm holding on to Picard for. But I stopped watching Discovery. I didn't give Prodigy the chance of hell, and I'm like, I need data. So I've just been watching
Prodigy.
TNG over and over again.
Yeah, I watched the first few episodes of it.
I do watch Lower Decks every now and again.
Reminding me. Oh, I love Lower Decks.
Lower Decks is pretty
Great.
good. Strange New Worlds is the best thing since TNG. No.
I think the best thing since TNG was Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Lower Decks. Actually, I like comedy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's all Star Trek, isn't it?
Love it.
There's also not enough data in Lower Decks, though. So
Lower Decks have data and lower bubble baths.
yeah, that's about it.
They do.
I would so buy that bubble bath. Oh my god, they need to just make like one of those. Like, I need to go to see if I can find one of those in like a store. You know, they have like knickknacks and shit. Because I'm gonna get me a lower bubble bath.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for coming on. We'll be seeing you again next Wednesday at 8 o'clock for another TNG review show to review The Loss, the next episode of season 4. So, cheers everyone. We'll see you then.
Fabulous.
Bye-bye.
Ah!